Today on DLife, 7 people from all walks of life get an extreme diabetes makeover.
And I'll pay homage to that unsung hero of the American kitchen, the crock pot, with a tasty, convenient, and healthy weekday chicken dinner.
Confused about all the types of insulin out there? You're not alone. Help is on the way. Welcome to DLife, your source for a healthy diabetes life. I'm Benno Schmidt. Human insulin, insulin analog, rapid acting, long acting. What exactly are all these and which type is best for your diabetes? Joining us in the studio to break it all down is Dr. Jason Baker, Professor of Medicine and Endocrinology at Cornell University Medical Center. Thanks so much for stopping by. Doctor, you're also living with diabetes. Let me start. What does the hormone and drug insulin do, and why do people like us living with diabetes need it?
Well, Benno, insulin is frankly essential for life. Without insulin, you can't process blood sugar. Without insulin, you can't use food for energy. Let me explain a little bit about what happens in the non-diabetic patient. The pancreas, which is the part of the body that makes insulin constantly. When anybody eats or anybody is stressed, anything that might happen in the body to cause blood sugar to rise, the pancreas rises to the occasion and makes a little extra insulin to keep blood sugar really in check at an exquisitely regulated number. When you get into the diabetes, you don't have enough insulin to keep that blood sugar in check. So what we've tried to do over the years with making insulin is to best mimic the normal physiology, both to control the background blood sugar control as well as the need for more insulin to match intake of food or stressful states in the body.
So Dr. Baker, insulin was first produced in the 1920s. Where did it come from and how has it evolved over the years?
When insulin was first discovered, we didn't have a method for manufacturing insulin in mass quantities. So we isolated it from animal pancreases, mostly cows and pigs. Then a few decades later, we learned how to manufacture regular human insulin, which then could be produced in a much wider and much larger quantity in reaching many, many more people on the global front.
And did this insulin work better than the animal-derived insulin?
Absolutely. So these newer insulins, which are manufactured, which are cleaner and cause less of a reaction to patients, they have been engineered over the years to work more quickly and to lead to more predictable responses to blood sugar.
Now, insulins work in very different ways, Dr. Baker. Can you run through the different types of insulins and how they actually work?
But we classify insulin as either short-acting or long-acting. The short-acting would be the rapid-acting insulin, which work very, very quickly to be taken when you need to have insulin in your system immediately to cover a meal or to cover a spike in your blood sugar. And then you have your longer-acting insulins, which are your basal insulins, which provide that background of blood sugar control the body needs to function independent of when you eat.
And there are also pre-mixed insulins that combine both the fast-acting and longer-acting insulins in combinations like 70-30 or 50-50. They are a good option for patients who have more predictable schedules and don't want to take multiple daily injections. The premix is a great way to control blood sugar at mealtime and all day long. Some of these premixes also contain a more recent advancement in insulin therapy, known as insulin analogs.
These analog insulins very much help to mimic what happens in the non-diabetic person. And what this means to patients, to us as diabetics, is that it provides a greater quality of life and freedom of being able to, when you have to take your insulin, the type of foods you can eat.
They don't have to be on such a rigid schedule.
Their quality of life very much improves. And as a result of that also, they can better match their intake of insulin with their intake of food and carbohydrates. And they can result in more predictable glycemic control and less hypoglycemia as well.
So for those living with diabetes like you and I, how do we know which insulin is best for us?
Well, I always tell my patients that it's important to work in conjunction with your healthcare provider, along with very frequent blood sugar monitoring, what type of insulin would be best for them.
We say on DLife, test, don't guess.
Absolutely, you cannot underestimate the importance of testing.
Thanks, doctor. Now, you can go to DLife.com/insulin types to get more in-depth information on this crucial and fascinating subject.
Welcome back to DLife. Recently, we caught up with a diabetes specialist and patient to bring you new insights into diabetes treatment.
12 years ago, Marcia Harvey's doctor diagnosed her with type 2 diabetes.
The first couple of years, I really did watch what I ate, and I really was careful and really monitored my sugar. As time went on, and I seemed to be in control, gradually the doctor said, you only need to really check a few times a week. Before you knew it, a few times a week came to be 0 times a week.
For years, Marcia didn't make her diabetes a priority. Her job at a large corporate office was often stressful. Her co-workers called her the M&M lady.
Years ago, I used to buy a pound bag of M&Ms and take it into work, put it on my desk, I would open it, and by the end of the day, 3/4 of that bag would be gone.
To add to her stress, Marcia's oldest son was sent to Iraq after 9/11. At the same time, her other son left on a mission trip in Brazil.
My family was my life, and it was just only natural that I, mourned when they were gone, and my way of dealing with it was eating and not paying attention to what I needed to do for myself.
Marcia's blood sugars were averaging in the mid-200s, and she soon developed vision problems. But it took a co-worker's health crisis to give her the wake-up call she needed.
Since I was diagnosed with diabetes, 3 other people on my team have been diagnosed. One of the girls on my team, one day she was pretty much doing what I was doing. She wasn't monitoring, and she really wasn't watching. And so one day she wasn't feeling well, and she took her sugar level, and she was close to 300. She was admitted to the hospital. So that's when I thought, if she's being hospitalized, what am I doing? I realized then I need to do something. I need to start really watching it.
The help Marcia needed arrived by chance soon after.
About 6 months or so ago, I was asked to participate in some testing for diabetes and some new tools. And one of the tools was the 360 view.
Patients get an immediate feedback, and it empowers them.
Dr. Pamela Kushner is a board-certified family physician.
The tool asks the user several points. It asks them what is the size of the meal that they're eating and how they feel when they are checking their glucose. What is their energy level? Is it high energy? Is it low energy? It really defines the disease for them. It lets them see how they feel when their sugar's too high. It lets them see that if they eat a big bowl of broccoli and salad with olive oil, their glucose is not going to go as high as if they have a small candy bar.
Through a study called Structured Testing Protocol, or STEP, the 360 tool was clinically proven to lower A1C levels. While Marcia did not participate in the STEP study, she used the 360 view tool on her own to discover her patterns. She used it to test up to 7 times a day and logged her results.
It just hit me after seeing the 360 view, where I was peaking and where I was good, and realizing what I was eating was not the right things, and it just really opened my eyes to make sure that I need to get back in control and see what's going on.
With this information, Marcia and her doctor began to get a clearer picture of how her diet and exercise impacted her blood sugars.
It was a very rude awakening for me to find out that I truly was out of control. For me, it just made me more aware. And so I found myself kind of excited to take my sugar level because I was anxious to see, did I really do something right?
We asked Dr. Kushner to weigh in on Marcia's 360 View tool results.
The tool helped her be more accountable. And by becoming more accountable, she couldn't deny the effects of her own behavior and diet on her disease state.
What's also interesting about looking at the 360 tool is that sometimes seeing how fast you drop in sugar, for instance here, where my blood sugar was 148 2 hours after breakfast, 2 hours later I was down to 75. And so it made me stop to think, okay, what did I do that really pretty much dropped that in half? And the difference was I walked.
Marcia is not a fan of the gym, so she found her own ways to stay active.
I look forward to coming home at night, and I don't mind doing a load of laundry, and I don't mind cooking and doing dishes and straightening up the house. That's my way of, I'm moving, because I know as soon as I sit, I'm not going to be doing very well. I know my sugar level's going to go up.
In just 6 months, Marcia's A1C has dropped from 9.6 to less than 7%. And for the first time in 10 years, Marcia's doctor changed her medication. She also lost 21 pounds.
I want to lose more weight. I want to continue to feel good. I want to continue to be on the roll that I'm on.
People with diabetes can't get themselves under tight control without knowing what their numbers are. Marcia continues to test regularly and watch what she eats. She hasn't felt this healthy in years.
I can't imagine where I would be today if I hadn't been going through that testing and seeing the actuality, the reality of what things really look like and getting that picture. I think people can see the difference. I have energy. I do feel good.
When we return from the break, we'll join Chef Michelle in the DLife kitchen.
Hi, I'm Chef Michelle Nishan. Welcome to the DLife kitchen. Today, we're going to break out the slow cooker once again. That's right, slow cookers or crock pots have become very popular lately, and understandably so. You just throw a bunch of healthy ingredients in and come back at the end of a long day to a delicious meal. Now, not many people realize that you can cook a whole chicken in a crock pot, but it's incredibly easy, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Here we have a really nice chicken, and if you can, try to choose organic, free range, because it doesn't have all those antibiotics and growth hormones and things in it. So what I'm doing is just putting a nice slit deep in the breast of the chicken here, over here. For my seasoning, we basically take a little bit of garlic, stick it into this slit, just like that, and then I'm going to follow it with some butter. We just keep repeating, just like that. Now the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to cut up some shallots. So here we go, just a couple of passes, so you can see it was just 2 or 3 times across. And you have some nice diced shallots. And now we're going to pop it in the slow cooker. So shallots go in, just like that. They really love to be cooked a long period of time. Chicken goes in right on top of the shallots. I'm going to put a little bit of wine over the chicken. Now you don't have to use wine. I use the wine for a little bit of flavor and some acidity, about 1/4 to 1/2 cup. But the chicken itself, believe it or not, has enough juice to where it'll cook in the crock pot without any liquid whatsoever. So you don't have to use it. I just like that extra added flavor. A little bit of fresh black pepper, just like that. And now some whole fresh thyme leaves. Now we put the cover on here and we're gonna cook this on low for 8 hours. If you wanna go on high, 4 hours. But if you're gonna be away all day, if you're at work, you wanna do it on low. And this is what happens, just like this. It's this simple. And here I have a little bit of healthy whole grain salad. This is actually red quinoa and some hulled barley. These are healthy whole grains. What I love about hulled barley is that it's the lowest on the glycemic index of all grains. Very, very important that you choose this. If you're living with diabetes, you want to choose grains that'll give you that carbohydrate load over a longer period of time, take longer to digest, and don't spike your blood sugar as much as something like white rice. And here I'm just going to go right into the slow cooker. I'm going to take a nice chunk of this chicken off, just like this. Ooh, succulente. There you go. Now that's looking delicious. Red quinoa, hulled barley, and slow cooker chicken. Now you can find this recipe and thousands more at DLife.com/recipe box. Give this recipe a try, come back to the website, write your own review. I'm Michel Nishan. Thanks for joining me in the DLife kitchen.
Up next, part 1 of an extreme diabetes makeover.
Welcome back. For most of us, adjusting to a life with diabetes in the beginning wasn't easy. And even after many years, most of us still need help to keep ourselves focused.
Our friend Dr. Steve Edelman and his San Diego-based organization called TCOYD, Taking Control of Your Diabetes, gave 7 people some special help. The lucky 7 were invited to participate in a standout program called Extreme Diabetes Makeover.
They all had specific lifestyle issues they wanted to face head on with the help of a panel of experts. Over the next several months, we'll share their struggles and their successes.
For these 7 participants, diabetes is a constant battle.
Oftentimes my career and my work life are number 1, and my personal life takes second place.
I go in spurts where under control, out of control. And that out of control could be a good year to a year and a half.
In the last 3-4 years, since coming to college, my control has steadily kind of gone down because I'm out from under my parents' umbrella.
But now, through the Extreme Diabetes Makeover, they're determined to take charge.
When I heard about the Makeover program, I was so excited. It will give me the structure that I need and the enthusiasm, the support of the group to really make a difference in my life.
I've come to learn that, or determine that I just don't think I can do it by myself.
My hopes for the program are learning how to survive with diabetes. To go from the scared stage of, I have this, now what? To, I have this, now what else can I do?
You have to change your lifestyle. And I became really depressed about that because I thought that I couldn't do it, but I know that I can. And this program will help me do that.
The Makeover participants are diverse. 2 Type 1s and 5 Type 2s, ranging in age from 22 to 68. No 2 people have the exact same set of problems, but they all have 2 things in common: out-of-control diabetes and a real desire to improve.
Diabetes is so much more than blood sugar control. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be in this mess anyway. It's so complicated.
Dr. Steve Edelman, founder of the organization Taking Control of Your Diabetes, is the creator of the Extreme Diabetes Makeover. He's assembled a dream team of experts, including a dietitian, a psychologist, a nurse educator, and an exercise physiologist. Over a span of 20 weeks, the 7 participants meet regularly with the dream team, and honesty counts.
And what do you eat? About?
Sometimes we go get Rubio, sometimes we get like noodles, pizza, or a burger. Yeah.
Sounds like a college, all right.
For Duran, who lives in a homeless shelter, Extreme Diabetes Makeover provides even more.
Y'all are my biggest support, other than my mom. When I'm feeling down, I know I can call y'all and talk to y'all and not get judged.
All 7 participants are setting high goals, like cutting back on problem foods.
Fish taco night is officially coming to an end.
And exercising more often.
It's amazing. 29-point drop just for one 45-minute workout. That's kind of cool. I may do this again.
And taking advantage of expert medical care.
So that would be 27 units, but then you can cut it back so that if you, because it,
I don't have to add the 40.
No, because you're not eating.
Nobody ever told me that.
They also share their deepest disappointments and frustrations.
She lost 18 pounds. Her blood sugars got better, but they're still not even close to where we want to see them.
And here I am. I'm the one that's talking about how easy everything is and how committed I am to doing the right thing. Well, I am doing the right thing and it's not coming down.
I had 30 days of just roller coaster. I'm high
half the day and I can't bring it down, and then I bring it down and it crashes, and it's not fair, and I just don't understand, and I'm a smart woman.
But what encourages the participants is knowing that they're not alone in this fight.
So many people who are struggling with diabetes day to day feel like they're the only ones going through this. They feel like they're quote unquote a bad diabetic, that everybody else is probably doing it just fine and it's just them. And it's such a relief to realize that a lot of other people are struggling and facing the same challenges, oftentimes for the same reason.
Like everyone with diabetes, these 7 people are engaged in a fight for their lives.
Give it right away.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Whoa.
6.8.
And while the victories come in small increments, they are still sweet.
My hopes for the Extreme Diabetes Makeover program, was one, of course, for the people to get better. And I had no doubt that with the attention we're giving them from our dream team, that their diabetes was going to get better and they're going to be in a much better place.
You can see the complete Extreme Diabetes Makeover series and find out more about the program by visiting tcoyd.org. I feel pumped up and ready to go out and do what I have to do for my diabetes.
And I might just go get a crock pot.
Well, make sure you use it.
Well, that is all for this edition of DLife. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget that you can watch more DLife TV videos anytime you want at DLife.com.
And we'd love to hear from you. Visit us at DLife.com/feedback and share your comments and story ideas.
And remember, tomorrow is a new Diabetes Day. We'll see you next week.